From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, May 5th. Sunshine is making its way into the picture for our Wednesday. It looks great out, and it's dry. Winds will be breezy with highs only rising into the upper 50s to low 60s, so it's going to stay a little bit cool out there today. President Biden is shifting his focus for new goals targeting the COVID-19 pandemic. He wants to expand smaller and mobile vaccination clinics. He wants 70% of adults to have at least one shot and 160 million Americans to be fully vaccinated by July 4th. So where do we stand now? According to the CDC tracker, 44% of people have received at least one dose. 106 million people are fully vaccinated. To increase those numbers, the administration is redirecting FEMA resources. Biden says he wants to make it as easy as possible for people to get the vaccine.
We know that many adults have not been vaccinated because they have found it too confusing or too difficult or too inconvenient to get a shot. So for those having trouble finding a location or making an appointment, we're going to make it easier than ever.
The White House created a new website called vaccines.gov. It will help you find the closest clinic near you. And the president's plans include incentives for immunizations, discounts, tickets, or other bonuses. The White House is asking grocery stores, sports venues, and other businesses to offer the add-ons. We talked to the director of epidemiology education at IUPUI. He says perks are common in public health campaigns.
As long as it's not excessive, right? That we're not paying exorbitant amounts of money to individuals just to be vaccinated, or withholding services from people just to be vaccinated.
President Biden is not yet saying which companies have agreed to be part of this incentive plan. And today you have the chance to hear the newest information from the city of Indianapolis on its response to the health crisis. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett and Marion County Public Health Director Dr. Virginia Kane are set to speak during their biweekly virtual conference. It starts at 1 this afternoon. It'll be streaming on wishtv.com, also on our news app and on our Facebook page. And this afternoon, representatives from the Marion County Health Department will be at Willard Park on Washington Street, just east of downtown. Hours are this afternoon from 2:30 to 4:30. They'll hold a Q&A near the Aquatic Center. And this morning, Community Health is answering a commonly asked question: should parents keep kids home until they can be vaccinated?
Fortunately, even when children get the coronavirus or COVID-19, they actually do very well with it. So it is still safe to send kids to school. There is a small chance they can get it, but likely would be like a common cold and they'll get over it.
And while Dr. Ramuletti also says children are less likely to get seriously ill from the coronavirus, they can still get sick and spread it to others. And starting today, Kroger is scheduling appointments for a new vaccination clinic in Boone County. It's at C&H Industrial in Lebanon and is open to everyone, whether you work at the plant or not. The clinic will have the Moderna version. First dose is Friday, second will be June 4th at the same location. Kroger is also still offering shots through its pharmacies. Governor Holcomb is putting a stop to legislation that would limit local health orders. He vetoed a bill requiring approval for certain orders by elected county commissioners or city councils. The governor sent a letter to the state explaining his veto to the state Senate. These are his words. Local health officials and the departments must frequently make urgent, complex decisions to safeguard public health where time is of the essence and expertise is critical. Throughout the pandemic, we've seen great examples of collaborations amongst elected officials and LHOs. This is the third time Holcomb has used veto power this year. It is possible for state legislators to override the veto with a simple majority vote in both chambers. And breaking this morning, just after 9 o'clock, former President Donald Trump cannot return to Facebook. That decision came down, at least not yet. The oversight board of the social media giant voted to uphold the ban on his pages. Facebook kicked Trump off the site 4 months ago, citing public safety for inciting violence in the Capitol insurrection. The board's decision extends the punishment, but does not make it permanent. The board says the punishment was arbitrary and is telling Facebook to re-examine it and make a clear decision within the next 6 months. Regardless, Trump seems to have moved on. Yesterday, he unveiled a new blog on his personal website, From the Desk of Donald J. Trump. Its homepage video calls itself a place to speak freely and safely. It essentially displays Trump's recent statements that you can then share to Facebook and Twitter as an external link. Twitter has banned him once and for all, no appeals. YouTube left his videos up, but banned any new videos. Liz Cheney's future as a Republican leader in the House is once again uncertain. A new report in Axios says a live mic moment before an appearance on Fox News, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy told a host he's lost confidence in Cheney and indicated someone will likely make a motion to replace her. Cheney is the House Minority Whip, but has come under frequent recent criticism from supporters of former President Trump. She voted to impeach him and recently encouraged the party to move on without him. Town leaders in Mooresville say that the town is now a sanctuary city on gun and speech issues. The town council approved 2 resolutions last night. The first states Mooresville opposes any public funds being used to infringe on the constitutional guarantee to keep and bear arms.
I get tired of the only solutions to gun violence being punishing innocent law-abiding gun owners, and I think it's wrong. I don't think it solves a single amount of crime.
The second resolution states the town opposes government actions to curtail religious liberties, specifically in reference to the pandemic. The town's legal counsel says the resolutions will not have an effect on local agencies like the police department or state statutes like the red flag law. An attorney for the former police officer who killed George Floyd wants a new trial. One of Derek Chauvin's lawyers filed a motion yesterday calling last month's guilty verdict contrary to the law. The attorney claims jury misconduct, witness intimidation, and publicity affected the outcome. The motion also questions the court for abusing discretion in not granting a change of venue for the trial. Last month, the jury convicted Chauvin on 3 counts in the death of George Floyd. We do not know when the judge will respond to the motion. Today, there is an all-school mass at Cathedral High School to honor a student killed in a crash over the weekend. Lyndon Byram was killed on the way to prom in Hamilton County on Saturday. Byram's girlfriend, Caitlin Hart, also died. Yesterday, we talked about the plans for her funeral, and now we know about services for Byram. Visitation and the funeral will be at Cicero Christian Church. Visitation will be Friday between 3 and 7 p.m. The funeral starts Saturday morning at 10. And today, a final farewell for Steve Weissert. He was one of the victims of the mass shooting at FedEx. A funeral mass is scheduled for 11:30 this morning at St. Luke Catholic Church in Indianapolis. The church plans to stream the service live so anyone can watch. Visitation was yesterday at Flanner Buchanan in Zionsville. And a possible threat to your trip to the pool this summer. There is an industry-wide chlorine shortage. It's the result of a fire at a chemical plant in Louisiana that was damaged in a hurricane in August. Indy Parks and Recreation doesn't use the sanitizing tabs, which could be more difficult for pool owners to buy. But of course, they use a different form of chlorine, which has increased in price. In total, the agency is opening 10 pools this summer, 8 outdoor, 2 indoor, including Indy Island. This year, they plan to use more than 35,000 gallons of liquid chlorine for indoor and outdoor pools, plus the splash pads. That costs more than $64,000. In 2019, for the summer pools, they spent more than $47,000 on chlorine. That's when all 15 outdoor pools were open. The total then was $47,000. That does not include the cost of chlorine for the indoor pools and splash pads.
Every person that jumps in introduces contaminants, nitrates, sweat, laundry detergent, dirt from their shoes, their feet, into the pool. And so it takes a lot of chlorine to be able to combat that, to maintain pools at a healthy, safe level for swimming.
Leslie's Pool Supplies spokesperson Tracy Dick says the chlorine market as a whole is experiencing heightened demand and decreased supply this summer. That will cause the price of chlorine to continue to increase. While the company says they are well stocked with inventory, they say the shortage may impact the entire summer season. They're encouraging customers to purchase products they need just for the season and to consider other sanitation options like salt, liquid chlorine, or shock instead of chlorine tablets. Indy Parks and Recreation says all of the pools will be at a 50% capacity limit, and as of now, they're asking people to wear a mask when not in the water. A group of immigrants and Faith in Indiana leaders are calling for the Marion County Sheriff to end holding immigrants without charges at the request of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. During a virtual town hall, the group said it wants Sheriff Kerry Forstall to be involved in discussions to create new policies and make Indiana more inclusive. An immigration lawyer and Sheriff Forstall both say they do want to see change.
Local law enforcement participation in immigration enforcement erodes trust with local communities. Thus, local communities are less likely to report crimes or seek protection from law enforcement when they are victims of crime.
So if I was asked, would you support removing that opportunity to be only held on detainers? Yes, I would support that position.
Hundreds of cities across the U.S. have already banned the practice. Injured IndyCar driver Robert Wickens turns fast laps in a race car for the first time since a violent crash 3 years ago. Wickens test drove an IMSA Series car from Brian Herta Autosport Tuesday. The team built it with hand controls for him. Wickens turned laps at Mid-Ohio. It's the same track where he had a podium finish the week before his life-changing wreck at Pocono. The crash left him with severe spinal cord injuries.
I've been wanting to drive a race car for a long time now, and to finally tick that box is massive in my recovery and my journey back. And who knows what the future will bring.
You may remember that Wickens drove a modified pace car before an IndyCar race 2 years ago. As for future competition, he says he's excited for what is to come in his career, but doesn't set goals he can't reach. And today is the official 500 Festival kickoff to the month of May. Celebrations start this morning on Monument Circle. 500 festival cars will fill the circle. There will be several events. It all starts at 11:30 this morning. It will have a feeling of our favorite Indy 500 staples, like the mini marathon and the race. Organizers say the 500 Festival princesses and board of directors will be there, along with Indianapolis Motor Speedway executives and Mayor Joe Hogsett. Hogsett will be given a celebratory milk bottle in honor of the month of May and the 500. Plus, a large lineup of festival Chevy Camaros will drive through the streets. The grand prize winners of the 500 Festival coloring contest will also be announced. This is where kids 12 and under decorated coloring sheets to express what the month of May means to them. And because of COVID-19, unfortunately, the event is not open to the public. They're not encouraging anybody to stop by. It's just to get that Indy 500 feeling started for the month of May. Another celebration will kick off today in Speedway, a celebration of community and culture. It's a street fest, kicks off the city's biggest month, of course, for the 500, and also Cinco de Mayo. You can expect to see culture, live music, and lots of fun on Main Street starting at 4:30 later today. To business headlines now, demand for construction workers in Indianapolis is incredibly high, and there's a notable shortage of laborers in the top cities. Industrial Paint and Protection magazine says Indianapolis is in the top 15. It says there are just 10 workers per building permit, with the average salary of $38,000. Starbucks expects U.S. customers to make their morning coffee runs again. It's a good sign for the Seattle-based chain as it recovers from the pandemic. But not all cafe operators are seeing the same uptick in business. Starbucks says customers are used to making coffee at home, but are coming back slowly. The U.S. economy could leave $1 trillion on the table this decade because of a manufacturer worker shortage. It's according to a new study from Deloitte and the Manufacturing Institute. Manufacturers face a two-pronged employment program. They're having trouble filling the open jobs, and many workers don't have the high-tech skills yet, but training programs could help. One Big Ten university has created a program to bring back dropouts to earn their degrees. Ohio State is providing information and making connections to academic advising and other resources. The program also provides financial assistance for students who meet certain eligibility requirements. A new report estimates Indianapolis lost close to $612 million in convention business during the pandemic. The study also says 40% of the people who work in hotels, restaurants, and other tourism areas were unemployed last year. Mayor Hogsett presented the State of Tourism report yesterday. The pandemic also prompted a first at last night's annual Rose Awards. This year, the Bill McGowan Leadership Award went to the city's entire hospitality industry. IndyCar and the American Red Cross are teaming up for a blood drive today to encourage race fans to donate. According to the Red Cross, only 3% of eligible people donate blood annually. Today's event is happening at the American Red Cross headquarters on Meridian Street. It runs from 10 this morning to 3 in the afternoon. You do need to register in advance. And ride your bike and get rewarded. That's the incentive with the return of pedal perks in Hamilton County. Visit Hamilton County is promoting a collection of 30 businesses offering deals and discounts when you decide to explore on two wheels. The offers are only available through a smartphone. Deals run through October 31st. Reported problems in the Pacers locker room. Head coach Nate Bjorkgren has work to do on relationships with key players. It's according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. In a tweet last night, Woj said that the coach has shown willingness to try and address those issues. He reports that Bjorkgren's future with the franchise is uncertain. The first-year head coach has one more guaranteed year on his 3-year contract. Right now, the Pacers are fighting to stay in the playoffs with a 30-34 record. The Blue and Gold will look to get a win at home tonight against the Sacramento Kings. And a softball legend from our area will get a fitting permanent place in the game. Center Grove is set to rename its field after Russ Milligan. He died in February with COVID-19. News 8's Olivia Ray looks at what Milligan meant to the program.
Hall of Famer is a distinction few earn in their respective sports, but an even rarer feat to be given those honors simply for your human nature, because that award is reserved for someone like Russ Milligan.
He had a way of just bringing a group of kids together and obviously winning a lot of championships. To further that from the softball, I don't know if you're aware, he probably holds another record for the most wedding invitations from former players and coaches.
The recently retired Center Grove softball coach won an unparalleled 700-plus games in his 27-year coaching career and was still impacting lives as the beloved chemistry teacher for the Trojans until the day he lost his own. Complications from COVID-19 took Milligan in February at the age of 56.
He had a saying that he said a lot. Life is simple, just do the right thing. I think that resonated through all of us.
He's a legend in the softball community. You loved him or hated him, but if you hated him, you still admired him. You still respected how he coached.
I think we'll carry with us that he's with us still. I mean, he's always cheering us on, and we want to do this for him and go to state again and win for him.
Nobody in the state of Indiana has coached more softball victories than Russ Milligan. And while these 5 state championship and 3 state runner-up banners serve as temporary reminders of his success, the Center Grove softball community decided to make this field forever Russ Milligan.
It's just amazing to know that he will always stay around on the field too, and he will just always kind of be watching over us.
There is a spirit on that field from a guy who was just an outstanding person.
It's going to be hard to see the field for a while with his name on it, but I think as the time goes on, the memories turn into great stories, and then the great stories turn into laughter.
Milligan's mark may never fade, and even more importantly, his impact on Indiana softball has forever changed the game. Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
This has been your News 8 Daily for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.